There are moments so small, so ordinary, that most overlook them. Yet within these moments, entire battles are won. A breath taken with awareness, a thought caught before it could poison the heart, a choice made in silence rather than anger. These are victories that resound far beyond what the eye can see. Today, perhaps without knowing, you stepped into such a victory. And when you did, heaven itself rejoiced. The laughter of God was not scorn, it was triumph, because you broke another chain that once held you down. In the Shaolin tradition we say, a mountain is moved by carrying small stones. One stone is nothing, but carried daily, patiently, it reshapes the very earth. In the same way, the small steps you took today, whether it was the discipline to rise when you wished to stay down, or the patience to hold still when your spirit wanted to escape, these were the very steps of mastery. In this video, you will discover why these hidden victories matter, how they shape the destiny of the chosen ones, and why God celebrates even the smallest act of awareness. I will share with you lessons rarely spoken outside the temple, truths about discipline, silence, forgiveness, and the subtle ways the spirit grows stronger each day. And if you stay until the end, you will see how your daily choices, unnoticed by the world, are building a fortress of clarity and power within you. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the path of the chosen. If these words speak to your journey, I invite you to subscribe and walk with us as we continue to uncover the deeper ways of self-mastery. The path is not easy, but every step is victory. The greatest battle is often the one no one else sees. It is the battle within, the clash between thought and awareness, between impulse and restraint. Today, if you paused, even for a single breath, and noticed your own thoughts instead of being swept away by them, you achieved a rare victory. Few realize how powerful that moment is, because the world teaches us to act, to respond, to chase. But true strength begins with stillness. In Shaolin training, before a fist ever meets the air, the monk is taught to breathe, to feel the rise and fall of the chest, to become so aware of the body and mind that no movement is wasted. This is why every strike, every step begins not with force, but with awareness. The student learns that a mind mastered will guide the body with precision, while a mind distracted will scatter its own energy. Think of the storm. It rages with thunder and violent winds, yet above the clouds rests the silent sky. When you observe your thoughts, you rise into that sky. The storm still moves beneath you, but it no longer controls your direction. This is what mindfulness reveals, that the watcher is always stronger than the storm itself. Perhaps today you felt anger, or doubt, or fear. But if you pause to see it, if you said to yourself, this is anger, this is fear, then you became larger than the emotion. That pause was your victory. In that moment, you were not chained to reaction. You stood as the master of your inner world. And with each small act of self-observation, you carved the path of the chosen one, quiet, disciplined, unshakable. There is a quiet strength hidden in the simplest actions: to eat with awareness, to walk without rushing, to hold back words that would wound. These may appear small, yet they reveal a discipline deeper than any display of force. True mastery is not measured by how much one can conquer the outside world, but by how faithfully one governs the movements within. Discipline has often been mistaken for something harsh, a cage that restricts freedom. But in the ancient paths, discipline was never punishment, it was devotion. It was the steady reminder that every act, no matter how ordinary, carries spirit within it. When you raise food to your mouth with awareness, you remind the body that life is sacred. When you walk with deliberate steps, you remind the mind that time is not a chain but a gift. When you restrain anger, you remind the heart that peace is stronger than fire. The Shaolin way teaches that self-mastery begins not in great battles, but in the daily choices no one sees. A monk may spend hours sweeping the temple floor, not because the dust demands it, but because discipline transforms the act of sweeping into a meditation. It is through such ordinary actions that the mind learns patience, the body learns obedience, and the spirit learns freedom. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you break a hidden chain. Each choice is a small victory, and in these victories, heaven rejoices. The laughter of God is not distant, It is the echo of your own spirit rising, no longer a servant to every craving or desire. Discipline, then, is not denial of life. It is the art of walking through life with clarity, respect, and unwavering strength. There are times when silence speaks louder than any voice. To remain still when provoked, to choose quiet over reaction is not weakness but power. The world often rushes to fill space with noise, with endless words that scatter attention and drain energy. Yet those who walk the path of mastery know that silence is a weapon, sharp, precise, and unshakable. In the Shaolin tradition, silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity. A monk may sit for hours without speech, not to escape the world, but to refine perception. In that silence, the mind untangles itself. Like water settling in a clear bowl, thoughts grow still, and truth rises to the surface. Unnecessary words, like stirring the water, only cloud what might otherwise be seen. When you chose silence today, instead of reacting, you guarded your energy. You created space for wisdom to enter where anger or pride might have taken hold. This is victory, subtle yet profound. For silence allows the spirit to listen not only to the voices of others, but to the voice within. The ancients taught that words carry weight, and once spoken, they cannot be recalled. Rash words wound, careless speech builds chains. But silence preserves freedom. To master silence is to master restraint, and restraint is the mark of discipline. Each time you withhold what does not need to be said, you align closer with divine order where balance and harmony rule. Silence, then, is not emptiness. It is a shield, a mirror, a sacred weapon. In it lies the strength to endure storms without being broken, and the clarity to see the path hidden beneath the noise. Those who embrace silence walk closer to the eternal rhythm of life itself. Discomfort is a teacher few are willing to face, yet it is one of the wisest companions on the path of mastery. To sit with unease, to breathe through a moment of pain, to endure without fleeing, this is no less than the work of a warrior. The battles of the chosen are not always fought with swords. They are fought in silence, in stillness, and in the willingness to stay present when every instinct cries to escape. In the Shaolin path, disciples are trained to hold postures until the body trembles, to remain seated when the legs burn, to feel the ache without breaking the breath. These practices are not punishment, they are preparation. They teach that the body may complain, the mind may resist, but the spirit is stronger. Endurance reveals the hidden power that lies beneath discomfort. Each time you face a small trial with patience, you step deeper into freedom. It may be as simple as resisting a craving, as subtle as waiting in silence, or as challenging as standing firm in the face of fear. These acts of courage are invisible to others, yet they are seen by heaven. And when you choose growth over comfort, joy resounds, for you have proven that the spirit cannot be enslaved by the body's demands or the mind's impatience. Discomfort strips away illusion. It shows what is fragile and what is unshakable. To meet it with open eyes and steady breath is to declare, I am more than this pain, more than this moment. In that declaration lies true power. Each time you endure, you awaken a deeper strength within, and the divine laughs in victory, for you have chosen the harder path, the path that transforms. The most dangerous battles are not fought against enemies outside, but against shadows within. Illusion rises quietly through pride, through fear, through the whisper that says you are separate, greater, or lesser than others. To see this illusion for what it is, even for a single moment, is a victory of the highest kind. For the eyes that turn inward with honesty are sharper than any blade. Shaolin wisdom teaches, the enemy outside cannot harm if the enemy within is mastered. A warrior may defeat countless opponents, but if his heart is ruled by ego, anger, or false belief, he has already lost. The true disciple trains not only the body but the mind, cutting away illusion as carefully as a sculptor shapes stone. Each layer removed reveals the form of humility, the shape of truth. Ego loves to build walls. Walls of self-importance, of comparison, of endless desire. But when you step back and witness these walls, you begin to see that they are made of sand. They collapse the moment awareness shines upon them. Today, if you caught yourself thinking, I must prove my worth, or I am greater than this person, and instead chose humility, then you broke free from the grip of illusion. Humility is not weakness, it is clarity. It allows the heart to bow before life itself, to see the sacred in every person, in every breath. When illusion falls, peace takes its place. And in that peace, heaven rejoices, for you have chosen truth over pride, essence over appearance. The battle against inner illusion never ends, but each victory draws you closer to freedom. Every time you return to humility, the divine smiles, for another veil has lifted and your spirit shines clearer than before. There is a hidden strength in something so simple that most overlook it: the breath. To breathe without awareness is to drift like a leaf in the wind, carried by distraction, consumed by restlessness. But to take one conscious breath, fully present and alive, is to return to the center of existence. That single breath holds more power than hours lost in wandering thought, for it gathers the spirit and anchors it in the now. In Shaolin practice, breath is regarded as life force itself. Every movement begins and ends with it. The strike, the stance, the stillness, all are guided by the rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. Without breath, strength scatters. With breath, strength condenses into focus and clarity. The monk learns that mastery of the body flows not from muscle, but from the current of air that moves through it. Mindfulness teaches the same truth. The breath is the anchor. No matter how wild the mind becomes, no matter how fierce the emotion, the breath is always there, steady, patient, waiting to bring you home. To return to it is to return to yourself. Today, if you took even a single breath with full awareness, feeling its depth, its warmth, its stillness, you stepped into prayer. That breath was not only survival, it was a bridge between body and spirit, earth and heaven. And in that moment, joy echoed through creation, for you had chosen presence over distraction, alignment over chaos. Each conscious breath is a reminder that life is happening here, not in memory or imagination, but in this very heartbeat. To honor the breath is to honor the gift of being alive. And every time you do so, the spirit flows more freely, like a river returning to its source. Forgiveness is often mistaken for weakness, yet it is one of the most profound expressions of strength. To release the weight of anger or resentment, even for a single moment, is to reclaim power over the heart. When you forgave someone, or even yourself today, you achieved a victory no one else may see, but the spirit recognizes it immediately. In Shaolin teaching, anger is described as fire that burns its own vessel. When we hold on to it, we become both the flame and the container, trapped in suffering of our own making. The wise understand that fire has its place. It warms, it transforms, but when unchecked, it consumes. Forgiveness is the act of letting the fire release its hold, turning destruction into clarity, heaviness into lightness. To forgive does not erase the past or condone harm. It restores balance within. Each act of letting go is a quiet mastery over the impulses that would chain the mind and cloud the heart. When you release bitterness, you no longer serve the ego or the story it clings to. You step into freedom, unburdened, aligned with the deeper current of life. There is a subtle joy in this surrender. God's laughter is not distant. It echoes in the moment of release, celebrating victory over the weight we once carried. Every forgiven slight, every absolved mistake is a small miracle, transforming ordinary days into opportunities for awakening. Through forgiveness, the heart becomes resilient, the spirit flexible, and the mind clear. It is a practice of discipline as much as meditation, a choice to rise above reaction and embrace understanding. Each time forgiveness is offered, the soul gains strength, and the divine rejoices, for heaviness is replaced by light, and the inner world grows wide and unshakable. There is a subtle power in choosing direction over drift. Life constantly offers distractions, voices that pull, desires that tempt, worries that bind. Yet when you turn your attention toward what truly matters, even for a brief moment today, you step into alignment with your higher purpose. That choice, though quiet, shapes the course of destiny. The Shaolin path teaches where intention goes, energy flows. Every thought, every action, every breath carries force. When scattered, energy dissipates like wind through an open hand. When focused, it becomes a current strong enough to move mountains. Purpose channels the mind, disciplines the body, and strengthens the spirit. Even a single act guided by intention, choosing patience over frustration, service over indulgence, clarity over distraction, aligns you with the unseen order of life. Perhaps today you noticed the pull of trivial concerns and consciously set them aside. Maybe you chose study over entertainment, stillness over restlessness, or reflection over routine chatter. These are not grand gestures, yet they are the markers of mastery. In choosing purpose over distraction, you cultivate depth, resilience, and clarity, building a foundation that cannot be shaken by the chaos of the world. God rejoices when chosen ones walk this path, not because the effort is visible to others, but because it demonstrates inner sovereignty. To focus on purpose is to honor life itself, to acknowledge the sacred currents flowing through every moment. Each intentional step strengthens the soul, sharpens the mind, and aligns the heart with what is eternal. Distraction may whisper endlessly, but those who cultivate purpose discover a steady rhythm beneath the noise. In this rhythm, energy flows, clarity rises, and the spirit moves effortlessly toward fulfillment. Today, by choosing direction over drift, you have taken another quiet step on the path of mastery. True strength often hides in the quiet gestures of the heart. To bow inwardly in gratitude for a single breath, a meal, or the rising sun may seem small, yet it is among the highest acts a spirit can perform. In that moment, the mind ceases its endless striving, the heart softens, and presence blooms. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the sacred, revealing the depth in what is often overlooked. Shaolin monks live by simplicity, finding richness not in abundance, but in awareness. Every meal eaten mindfully, every step taken with care, every task performed with attention becomes a meditation, a vessel for the spirit. Gratitude is the lens through which the small things are magnified. It turns little into enough and enough into a life of abundance. It teaches the mind to see rather than crave, to honor rather than demand, to rejoice rather than resent. Perhaps today you paused and truly acknowledged something most take for granted. A hand extended in kindness, the taste of water, or the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat. That pause, that inward bow, is not empty. It is a triumph of humility over pride, of awareness over distraction. Humility is the companion of gratitude. It allows the heart to recognize that no achievement exists in isolation. No joy is complete without acknowledgement of the forces that sustain it. When humility and gratitude meet, the spirit expands quietly but profoundly, touching life with gentle power. God laughs in victory when the sacred is honored in the ordinary, for such acts reveal a soul awake to the flow of life. Each moment of true appreciation, each small act of humility builds invisible bridges between the human and the divine. In this way, the simplest gestures carry immense weight, and the chosen ones walk steadily along the path of inner mastery. The laughter of God is felt not as distance, but as the quiet reflection of your own growth. Each mindful choice, every act of discipline, each conscious breath, and every step taken with humility is a victory in itself. The path of the chosen is not defined by grand gestures or dramatic moments, but by the steady mastery of the self in everyday life. When you honor silence, face discomfort with courage, forgive with an open heart, and offer gratitude for even the smallest blessings, you carry the essence of Shaolin wisdom. You align with a deeper purpose, walking gently yet powerfully through life. Today's victories, though subtle, resonate far beyond what can be seen, shaping your spirit and inspiring the world in ways you may never notice. Let this awareness guide each day. Pause, reflect, and choose presence over distraction. Your small, consistent steps weave the tapestry of mastery and peace. If these teachings resonate with your journey, join us in continuing the path. Like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and walk with us as we explore the deeper truths of self-mastery and ancient wisdom. Let your spirit rise quietly, steadily, and with unwavering clarity. Peace be with you on every step of your path.